they were all counting on me. Every time I saw them, they were like, yeah, go get them, Doc. Make it better for us. Go do it. When I settled, I felt so bad. I felt like I had let the entire group of supporters for me down. I thought I was going to be on the news and they were going to say guilty and all this other stuff, but the real world didn't work that way. And I felt really, really bad about the entire situation until about almost 8 months later, when I was actually at the mall, the Galleria, right here, shopping for my daughter. We were actually in Gymboree, and this man walks up to me and he said, "Are you Dr. Arnette?" And I said, "Yes." I'm like, "How can I help you?" And he shook my hand and he said, "I just want to tell you thank you." He said, "I'm a policeman at UT Southwestern Medical Center. And if it wouldn't have been for what you did, nothing would have ever changed. The police chief has retired / fired. The lieutenant police chief is gone. They promoted more minorities in the last 2.5 years than they've done in the last decade. And they didn't have a license to harass people anymore. And none of that would have happened if it wouldn't have been for you doing what you did. And I just want to say thank you." It wasn't until that point that I actually felt like I actually made a difference. So now, with the opportunity to talk to kids and all this other kind of stuff and be here to talk to you guys, everything happens for a reason. So I was there that day with that officer for a reason. I'm here today with you guys for a reason. So, like I said, I'm supposed to be here. Another question?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Has it been any easier for other students to come after you?
Yeah, they've had 2. And I came out in 2005.
2?
Yes. I think it's just indicative of UT South. Number one, UT Southwestern is one of the top schools in the country. When I was there, our pharmacology department was rated #1 in the world. The person who led our pharmacology department won the Nobel Prize in 1994. We have 6 Nobel Prize winners on staff. Anyone in here who has high cholesterol and they take any type of Lipitor or any statin drug, the guys who came up with that are right up the street at UT Southwestern Medical Center, Drs. Mike Brown and Joe Goldstein. They won the Nobel Prize in 1985. So it's hard to get into that school. And when I first started, there was another African American guy who started with me. And he had come from an HBCU, a historically black college and university, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't adjust, he couldn't adapt. He was so used to seeing everyone who looked like him and hanging out and this, that, and the other. He couldn't put it in another gear. He couldn't change to get to where he wanted to go. I was lucky, I was able to change and then grow. But it's getting better. It's not a deterrent, and law enforcement is not an issue there. So I think I cleaned that up for him. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I'm curious, Dr. Arnette, whenever you hit rock bottom and it was just bad and like some of these folks go through bad days or bad weeks or bad months, you had to get up the next morning and take another step. And you had to self-reflect. You had to have a conversation with yourself.
Yes.
What did that sound like?
The conversation with myself, it was, number one, it was, man, why am I putting myself through this? And then immediately when I would say that to myself, the next thing I would say to myself is, you're not going to take this from me. You're not going to stop me. You're not going to do anything to stop me from being successful. You're not going to stop me from providing for my family. You're not going to stop me from reaching the goals that I want to reach. You're definitely not going to stop me from becoming Dr. Arnette. And you really have to seek what you want. Now, if you really don't want it, that conversation is going to be short. Okay, it's going to be really short if it's not something you really, really want. But if you really want it, if you really want to be successful, and this is something you enjoy doing and you want to be successful at, and you want to be a pioneer, and you want to be on the other side one day from being a mentee to a mentor, and be able to say, I've been through that. Come here, let me help you out. If you don't have those types of desires, it's going to be difficult for you, just to be honest. This ain't easy. Going to med school wasn't easy. Going to grad school wasn't easy. Being one of the chosen people in this room isn't easy. Series 7 and 66 and whatever other numbers y'all have or whatever, I'm pretty sure it's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And this will be a factory, people coming in and out, no big deal. But Edward Jones, I know they make a lot of money, but don't make that much money. They will keep investing in people and could care less if they stay or go. So you have that backbone, you have the support, like I said earlier. Take advantage of it. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody. And they don't even have to have been there before. You can anybody can be a mentor. Just to say, hey, I listen to what you're doing, I hear how you're making your calls, why don't you try this? Anybody can do that. And if you're willing to listen, you can help yourself. So you have to be a willing recipient of constructive criticism and advice. Don't take it personal. Please don't.